Alright, so I was one of those people that really didn't know anything about the Guardians of the Galaxy before it came out, and now after seeing this, I really can't wait for the 2017 sequel. Guardians of the Galaxy is obviously the origins to the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's pretty obvious from the title. The story opens up with Star-Lord stealing this like orb thing, as you see in the trailers, and apparently there's more to it than it seems. So eventually, through a series of not so random events, all the Guardians are brought together, and that's where the main story starts. Probably the most interesting thing about this movie was actually seeing how these characters develop and interact with each other. So they initially start off as strangers trying to kill each other, but eventually they become the Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's done really well and presented in a really interesting way. I really didn't know what to expect with like Rocket, the talking raccoon, and then you got Groot, who's like a freaking tree person thing. You got Drax the Destroyer, and you got Gamora the Assassin. Everyone played their part well. Chris Pratt absolutely kills it as Star-Lord. Bradley Cooper's voice acting is great. I ended up really liking Drax as a character because he had a lot of personality, and I thought he was just going to be like, you know, this buff guy that like punches people and beats them up and stuff, but he's not. He's a lot deeper than that. Groot, for having 3 lines, has a lot of character to him thanks to his like really well done expressions and animation. Obviously there's a lot of good supporting characters in this as well, especially the one played by Michael Rooker. You know, Meryl from The Walking Dead, that guy. I gotta say, the action scenes were freaking cool as hell to watch, especially the final fight at the end. I've seen pretty much every Marvel movie so far, and I don't think a fight scene has been that epic and grand as the one in Guardians of the Galaxy. It was very evenly paced as well between the dramatic scenes and the comedy scenes. While Captain America Winter Soldier was kind of a serious and dark kind of movie, Guardians of the Galaxy is kind of like the opposite, with a really laid back feel and a lot of comedic moments. This movie actually reminded me a lot of Star Wars in some ways, because like Rocket talks to Groot the way kind of like Han Solo talks to Chewbacca. Like Groot would just say, "I am Groot," and then Rocket would reply as if Groot said like a full sentence and reply. It's almost like this generation's Star Wars. It's set in a universe that doesn't really have to explain how everything works, how like people are in space and there's space travel. We don't need that explained, we just believe it and it works. It actually reminded me a lot of Mass Effect as well, and how awesome it'd be to have like a Mass Effect movie on this kind of scale and setting. Another thing I have to mention is actually the use of the music. The movie uses a lot of like 70s and 80s pop music to set the tone of the movie in the intro, and it plays a couple more of those songs in like random scenes here and there. The songs are great and they fit the scenes and they really add that comedic feel to it, so I gotta give props to the music because I've been listening to, you know, the Awesome Mix Volume 1 for like hours now. But enough about that. Things I didn't like, well, there wasn't really much I didn't like about the movie. Ultimately, the story isn't anything special or out of the ordinary, but it is executed well. And also the main villain of the movie, the main antagonist, didn't really feel that antagonizing. But this isn't really a flaw in the movie itself as much as it is a flaw of the entire like Marvel Cinematic Universe, because you know Thanos is like the big badass guy that's gonna like wreck everything in the next few movies. So the main guy in this one, who is not Thanos, is actually just like the mini boss before the big boss. Even with that, the movie is still very enjoyable. Guardians of the Galaxy is definitely one of the best movies of the summer, and if you haven't seen it, you should definitely go check it out because it is worth watching twice. So this movie came out a while ago, and I think a lot of you guys would have watched it, so I want to know what you guys think of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'll see you guys next time.